everyone and welcome back. Today I have the new palette by Sigma Beauty. This is Disney's The Little Mermaid. I'm excited for it. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I'm going to do several looks, swatches. We're really going to deep dive into this palette because so far all the videos I've seen, it's just been like swatches, one look, and I feel like this palette deserves a closer look. Here is the palette out of the packaging. Well, there's a little cute little sleeve in here. And then this is what the palette looks like on the inside. Really beautiful colors. Now this is priced at $59, which is the typical price that I've seen for the Disney palettes, but it's a little different. This palette does not have a brush. At first I was like, do I want this? Like, why does this not have a brush? And it's still the same price. But what I've learned is this actually has a bunch of multi-chromes, duochromes, shifty kind of shades. And from what I've heard, those tend to be a little more expensive. The only thing that's kind of disappointing for me is the mirror. It's really small. The palette also feels kind of compact and small. I don't know. I like my palettes to be bulky. I like the usual Sigma palettes. They feel bulky in the hand. I like that. But for comparison purposes, here is the Little Mermaid compared to the Cinderella. And you can see it's a little smaller. The width is the same. I mean, looking at it now, it looks only smaller if you compare the little place at the bottom where the brush compartment is. So it's just the feel of the palette. It's not necessarily that you have less eyeshadow, because literally like this whole section here at the bottom of Cinderella is taken up by the brush compartment. And if you look at the back, the Little Mermaid, the net weight is 17 grams and the Cinderella palette has 14 grams. So you actually get possibly more eyeshadow or possibly just heavier eyeshadow because it's the net weight. It's not the volume, so which is interesting. And I do wonder if duochromes and multi-chromes are heavier. Pan size looks the same. So I guess it's okay. It just feels smaller, but that does not mean that you have less eyeshadow. I am excited to try out the formulas and the colors in this palette. Now let's get started. I want to create a bunch of looks and have fun with this palette. All right, so I brought you in a little bit closer. Just gonna move my hair out of the way. Let's get this party started. I really want to try out the multi-chrome, which is this shade called Jumpin' Jellyfish right here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with this shade called 3 Days. And I'm just going to apply it all over the lid. It's going on pretty easily. Wow. It's pretty pigmented and went on so quickly and easily for a light pastel kind of shade. Wow, that was super easy. So now I'm gonna go into Jumping Jellyfish. Wow, this actually makes me think of Little Mermaid. With all the different colors in here, I see green, I see purple, and I do see another color, but I am not quite sure which one. But mostly I see sort of this sea green and lavender color. Shadow feels super lightweight. It's not chunky, it's very light. Now I'm going to take this shade Seagull, this white shimmery shade, in the inner corner. This is more chunky compared to the Jumping Jellyfish. Oh, and I even see like a little bit of a shift in here too. I see green and silver. All right, now I'm gonna take this matte purple shade here. I'm trying to make the inner corner a little more subtle. I feel like it's the placement of seagull in the inner corner. It looks a little too much. And I want to tone it down a little bit. And I'm going to try to use a brush. I can place it in a smaller area. Because with the finger, it covered too much area, and I'm not sure if I want that. Oh, I should have brought like a setting spray with me. I'm going to bring it a little bit inwards into the lower lash line. Now my Milani eyeliner is starting to dry out, so I hope it doesn't give me too much trouble. I'm going to use Maybelline the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I'm going to use Wet n Wild Date and Dominant Mascara on top of the Maybelline one. This wand is a little bit different. I feel like the Date and Dominant one really helps separate and lift the lashes, whereas the Maybelline Lash Lift really thickens them. Alright, here is the final look. I kept it pretty simple. And you can really see the different shifts within that multi-chrome shade where you see the sea green and the lavender. And it was super easy to apply all of these shades. Absolutely no issue whatsoever. For the next look, I'm going to start with this Lover Boy shade right here in the crease. It's not really going to show up too much on my skin, but it'll give a little bit of color. Pretty easy to apply, very nice, buttery soft, very easy to blend, no issues whatsoever. Now for the moment of truth, let's see if this dark blue, not super dark, but this blue shade, mid-tone blue shade works out. Because I have had trouble with Sigma blue and green shades. So we shall see how this one works out. I'm just gonna switch up my brush a little bit so I can place the shadow closer to the crease. And I'm using a flat brush now. It's just the flat brush gives more pigment on the eye versus a fluffy brush. You'll have to build up the pigment and I don't have patience. So yeah, that worked out. I think I might do both of these shades, Beautiful Voice, and then the one right next to it. And that one's called Swimming. Oh, Swimming looks like it's a shifty shade. Alright, so then I'll put Beautiful Voice right here. This is like a sort of sea green shade. So I'll just kind of blend it into the teal matte shade. And then I'm going to use Swimming, which looks like a shifty shade from the inner corner to the middle of the eye. Not seeing too much shift on the eye though. And this one's a little bit weightier, heavier, thicker than the other multi-chrome. You can see the shift in the swatch where you can see the purple a little bit. But I'm not seeing the purple at all on the eye. For my lower lash line, I'm going to use this shade here called Sea King. It looks like a matte shade, but with a little bit of shimmer in it. Oh wow, that's pigmented. It's really beautiful. It's nice and soft. Looks nice. I am trying to put Swimming in the inner corner a little bit more. It's a really nice texture, but I'm just not seeing that shift. Ooh, and it builds up nicely too. I really wish I had some sort of like teal eyeliner, and I think that would look so beautiful in the waterline, but I just don't have that color that I really wish I had. Just go ahead and apply the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift Mascara again. I'm not going to do the liner because my Milani liner is starting to dry out and it's getting a little annoying. All right, here is the finished look. I think it looks great. All right, I want to continue doing more looks. I'm not done playing around with this palette, so I'm gonna use this Almay Gentle Oil-Free Makeup Remover. All right, let's try to play around with these colors over here. We have some browns and red looking shimmers. So the quality, I feel like in this palette is better than what I've experienced in other Sigma palettes. Like this is the swatch of Soft Shell. Like how smooth is that? I did not expect it to be this long. Alright, so I'm gonna go with Sea King, which is just this basic brown here, which looks like a matte shade, but it has a little bit of shimmer in it. Wow, that's really pretty. And then I'm gonna go in with this light shade right here. It's called Sing. It's like a pink shade. A very, very light pink. It's not very pinky, it's almost like beige. That's a very interesting color. I'm gonna take black. This shade right here is called Villainous. I'm gonna put it in the very outer corner a little bit. It's very pigmented. Going outwards and then coming back into the crease. I'm just bringing it in a little bit. And then I'm going to take that brown shade called Sea King also into the lower lash line, more closer to the middle part of the eye. What do you think? I really like it. Here's the finished look. I've used 12 shades out of the 14. The only shade I haven't used so far is this golden one right here and this purple one at the top. I'm gonna go back into this pastel-y looking purple shade or lavender shade. Apply that into the crease and the brow bone. Oh, there might be a little bit of shift in this purple shade too. I'm really liking the shimmer shades. I feel like they're not too chunky. They're not emphasizing any of my eye lines. And I'm going to take that golden shade called Scroll. Put that in the inner corner or inner part of the eye. I'm just gonna try to blend them together. I don't know if these shades work well together. The purple feels a little cooler tone compared to the golden, but you know, I just want to test the formulas out. Everything is really beautiful. Like this golden shade is so beautiful. Like I'm just kind of blending it out, so I'm toning it down, but you could really make your eyes pop with this golden, very vibrant shade. I'm having a little trouble with the black. With this side, I didn't have any trouble, but I didn't use a whole lot of the black. This side, I am having a little trouble blending. I'm trying to put that same purple shade that I have on the lid in the lower lash line in the center. Here I am. Now I'm going to show you the swatches and then I'll give you my final thoughts. Wow. It's really beautiful. I'm just kind of packing it on. Oh, it's super smooth. Like this is just one swatch. Like I didn't have to go over it. Matte shade, very smooth. Next shade is called 3 Days. That's also a really beautiful pastel color. Let me go on it second time. And then we have this pink shade. Like a pink champagne maybe. Sea King. Then we're gonna go with Scroll. Then we have Beautiful. Swimming. This is the one where it is supposed to be some sort of duochrome or multichrome, but I just couldn't see the shifts on the eyes. Deep Blue Sea and the black one. See, this is the black one. All right, here they are. Here's a little bit of a closer look. Final thoughts on this palette are that the formula is beautiful. I feel like a lot of the formulas were even better than Sigma's regular formulation, and the colors are really beautiful. You can create a lot of different looks with this palette. There are supposed to be multiple duochromes and at least one multi-chrome, but I've applied all of the shadows and I could only spot one multi-chrome on my eye, and that was the jumping jellyfish one. And maybe not even a multi-chrome, maybe that's more like a duochrome. But the other ones that were labeled as duochromes, I didn't really see the shift, but they are still nonetheless really beautiful shimmers. So if you are really wanting a palette with beautiful shifty shimmers, then this is not gonna satisfy your needs. But if you're looking for a beautiful palette with really nice formula, very easy to work with, really beautiful color story, then you will really like this one. And I think they did a pretty good job with the theme. They brought in all of the colors that you normally see in like a mermaid fish tail. And then you have some browns in there too, which it's earthy. Maybe the bottom of the ocean is brown, I don't know. But I think they did a really good job with the color story with the greens and the blues and the browns, which I think do perfectly capture the sea and the mermaids. Thank you so much for watching. I really wanted to do a thorough review for you guys so you can make up your mind. So I used all the shades, did 4 looks. I hope that was helpful. If it was, make sure you hit that like button. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. I will leave a link down below if you are interested in purchasing this. I don't know if it's going to be affiliate or not, but I will leave a link down below for you guys. Thank you. Bye.